apocalypse, and God don't I wish that I could change the name of my program.
Right. Right?
I don't know about the rest of you. In order to keep my depression from just completely eating my lunch, I have not turned on even network television, forget about watching the news, since the election.
Yeah.
I kind of know what's happening just from what people say. And yeah, so I'm building new gates. The gates that I initially built, which I don't remember whether
Yeah, we got a film of it being broken, yeah.
no, I don't remember if we saw them being built in the first place.
I don't remember
Basically, I made gates for here at the beginning of the pandemic out of whatever the hell I could find.
Right, right.
And they were doing just fine till the tree that we wound up having to have cut, a giant limb fell and broke it all to shit.
The limb fell before we had the tree cut.
It was a big enough limb that it not only broke the gate, but it actually broke the cement that,
that the post was in.
Okay, so what am I doing? I'm doing brand new gates and a new piece of fence.
Right.
I'm doing this all in slabs. Eventually I'm going to go all the way across the front, at least with slabs.
Right.
It's cheap. It's easy. I'm putting it on pressure treated wood. It should, even if I have to replace some of the slabs in a few years, slabs are cheap.
Right.
And a lot cheaper than, say, pressure treated pickets.
But you did use pickets on the fence.
I used,
the gate.
Not even pickets. These are deck boards.
That's right, they're deck boards.
I need a strong gate. I need something that if I back the cars against it, somebody's not going to just drive their truck through.
Right.
Because we live in the red South, and we live in Arkansas, where the people are the most hideous people you ever want to meet, or ever don't want to meet. And okay, so you remember when I made this for the pandemic, for them to put packages in. We still have our packages delivered in that. I decided to raise it up so it kind of looks like a
guard tower?
Guard post.
Yeah,
right outside the castle gate.
Right,
because I still have to stay with my theme.
That's right.
I gotta stay with my theme. But anyway, I also raised it up because it's just gonna keep it from taking damage. I'm also putting a new and bigger piece of roofing.
Well, and I appreciate the height because it's easier to get big packages out of there.
But and then of course, I did one of those things that you guys have seen me do, where I said, "Oh, I don't care about those cracks. What the hell does it matter?" And of course, I put it together with my brad nailer.
Right.
And now I'm like, yeah, I don't like those cracks, but it's not, for the couple of boards, it's not worth it to drag my air tool and everything out here. So, but this is what I've been doing. This was actually our Hanukkah present to ourselves this year with gates.
Right. We actually investigated getting the metal gates.
Metal gates were way out of our price range.
Stupid expensive.
Two of the 8-footers, which is what we would have needed to go across here, they were $97 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you have to remember, people, when you're doing shit. It all comes down ultimately, unless you're rich, it comes down to cost. And if you're rich, I don't think you're watching my program. Just like if you're a red motherfucker, I don't think you're watching my program. Or you shouldn't be, because I hate you fuckers. But at any rate, what do you mean I'm as bad as they are? But that's what happens. Hate begets hate. Pass laws against me. Say hateful things about me. Guess what? I hate you too. But at any rate, so the idea is to just, even if it's just metaphorical at this time, is to shut them out.
Yeah.
Shut them out. Shut them out of my head. Shut them out of my property. Don't let them play on loop in my head, which, by the way, haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Tried not to.
Try not to. It's hard not to.
I love that this is actually tall enough to keep.
Okay, but
one of the big problems we have is dogs.
I was talking about price and I got off track.
Yeah.
I know that's hard to believe that I got off track. But at any rate, okay, so to do it both ways, $97 a piece just for the gates. Forget about, I still would have had to have 4x4s. I still would have had to have concrete. I still would have had to have the tie-in boards.
Right.
A 16-foot gate was $176. And 4x4 would not do that. I would have had to go up to a 6x6, and I would have had to make my hole deeper and more concrete in order to keep that from going. So I got all the wood and all the concrete for this project for $140.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what we can afford. Quit pretending that you can afford shit. Half of what's wrong right now, half of the reason this fucker got in is everybody's like, I can't afford to live anymore. It's like, quit eating out all the time. Quit pretending like you make more money than you do. Live within your means. Gonna have to rough it. If you had voted for the right person, we wouldn't have had to rough it much longer. But the people that didn't, or that, worse yet, didn't vote, the ones that didn't vote, they also did this to us. It's gonna be a lot worse for a long time. The best we can hope for at this point is he's not able to do the really bad shit he wants to do. So real quick, you and all your friends start saying, President Musk. Let's break them completely apart, because we both know that those two are such narcissists that if we get them butting heads, nothing's going to get done while they're butting heads. So spread the word. President Musk.
And be sure to vote in 2 years in the midterms.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and I'll get these gates up, and I'll get the fence up, and a lot of projects are going to be put on the back burner for the foreseeable future, because we don't know what's coming down the pike, and I can't afford to just be spending money, you know, out of pocket. This is why I like to use the brad nailer, because it took me longer to nail these two boards on than it would have taken me to hook up all that equipment.
Right, right.
But anyway,
The obligatory ass shot.
there you go. But yeah, so I'll show you one of the gates is finished. And you want to make sure you hang your gates high enough. The other one was not on purpose, but this one is. You want to make sure you hang them high enough that they easily clear the entire driveway.
And as heavy as that is, it swings so easily.
It's super heavy right now. Now, it will not be as heavy when the pressure-treated wood dries.
Right.
But right when you buy pressure-treated wood, it's always greener than goose shit. That's why we've talked about that before. It's why you immediately have to put it up and screw and nail the crap out of it to keep it from warping all this shit. Because it's got so much chemical in it. I know the environmentalists lose their mind. It's like, I'm an environmentalist too. You know what's worse for the environment? Changing posts out every 10 minutes. So.
Notice
anyway.
that she's got a block there that actually semi-supports that.
Yeah.
In case it needs it, if it sags.
I don't want it to sag. Once it gets hard, once the wood gets hard and it goes, which is going to take longer in the winter than the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
But once it does that, then it won't have as much propensity to sag. But in the meantime, I've got it sitting on a rock. But at any rate, so
then you've got over here.
I've got to do the other one over here.
Yep.
So
You've got this part of fence done.
yeah, I've got that part of the fence done, and again, it's just slabs. I can get slabs now for $10 a bundle. During the pandemic, the place I get my wood from, during the pandemic, the person who had been buying their slabs in bulk for their projects went under. And when they went under, they now have this surplus of slabs. But even before that, they were only $25 a bundle.
Yeah.
But now they're $10 a bundle.
Because they need to get rid of them.
Because they have too many.
Yeah.
And it's either do that or burn them, which talk about waste.
Yeah.
You know, not even burn them for firewood. They're basically pit burning them because they have too many. So
Talk about putting stuff in the air.
yeah. But at any rate, so yeah, so, and again, I'm not going to peel all of this,
No.
but I'll peel at it.
Eventually.
I'll peel at
Eventually
it.
it'll all get peeled.
Eventually it all gets peeled. About the time it rots anyway.
Yeah.
And has to all come down. You have to put up new ones. But the idea is, and people will say, well, that won't stop anybody who really wants to get in. It's like, read your history books. How many times a 3-foot fence caused people to die in the hundreds while they're trying to get over it?
Yep.
But not only that, most of the people you deal with, and maybe especially these fuckers, at the end of the day, they're cowards. That's why they're so afraid of everybody that's different and everything that's different, and want to make laws against people being different and things like that, because they're afraid, and they're chicken shits. And chicken shits are less likely to break a lock to get into something than they are to just walk in. They're less likely to break a fence down to get in or go over the fence.
Well, not only that, this will also keep the dogs out.
That's another thing, and I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
have the sonic thing.
Yeah, we got this
Because, we've got the neighbors once again running dogs
all over the place.
all over the place because they're entitled now. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but since the election, they drive worse.
Well, they do
Which is
here
what
for sure.
happened the last time. This is what happened the last time he won. Everybody drive like a moron because they feel entitled, and they just want everybody to know that they won. They're in charge now, and we're not. So they're gonna drive like idiots, drive like assholes, and be assholes, frankly. I've already dealt with the blowback. So, and I'm sure other people have as well. If you're obviously different, you're going to deal with blowback.
I am.
But at any rate, I'm going to work on the gate later. If she comes out, that'd be something for you guys
Okay.
to watch.
Well, holler at me when you get ready to do it, and I will come out. Okay, when you're doing it.
Okay.
Okay, you are on again.
Okay, so Lynn just pointed out, she said that's the same material.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly the same material. That beautiful, beautiful red color that everybody loves so much on cedar only lasts if it's inside and it doesn't get sun.
Right.
If it gets sun or weather, it turns gray.
Yeah.
And give that
What?
6 months to a year.
Yeah, and it'll look
and
the
you
same.
won't even notice it's a different wood.
Yep.
Because it's not. It's the same
Same
stuff,
wood.
just newer.
Different ages. Yeah.
This will all turn gray too.
Yeah.
Which I wish it would stay that way, but it won't. And no amount of treatment will make it do so. It has to be out of the sun.
It's the
and out
sun
of
that
the
does
weather.
it. Okay, so this is the other gate.
Okay, so this is the other gate.
Okay, now, is it, wait a minute.
First gate.
Hang on, I'm going to stop this for a second.
Why?
Okay, yes, you are back on.
Okay, so, no square. Squares is for sucks.
Measuring for some?
So what I use is, I get the boards, I cut the ends square, or use the ones that are squared from the lumberyard.
Right.
And I use simple jig. For the bottom, that's a 2x4 lit width at the bottom from the ground. Okay?
Right.
So now I'll just put the next one on. I put that one on. I put that. So I put this one on.
Right.
I put that
you
one
put
on.
the end on, both ends.
I had the 2x4 laying under there to make it easier. Then I measured the 11 inches from the board to from the top to the tie board, the hinge board.
Oh, right, okay.
Is the same 11 inches that's over there.
Right, right.
I fastened it with one. Went down to that end, fastened it with one. Then I started screwing it all together. Okay, in order to make the corners really strong, you don't have to do this, but if you don't, you're wrong. Okay. Well, I did in order to make sure that the gate doesn't want to do this, even though I'm going to put in, you can see
There's going to be a cross brace, yeah.
cross brace. But even with the cross brace, in order to make sure that the gate's not going to go all wonky on the corners, I've got 5 screws set in a pattern like an X. Okay, that
Okay.
one's a little closer. Shut up! But at any rate, and then one in the middle. This makes sure it's not going to warp in any direction that it's not held by a screw.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I'll show you one. Okay, so when I bought the deck boards are a little more than 8 foot. I forget exactly. They're like 8 foot,
And an inch, I think.
2 inches or something.
Something.
Okay, so instead of figuring out the middle, I decided I want them to look like that.
Yep.
So what I did was I just cut all of them at 4 foot and then stacked them so that I wouldn't forget, I'll show you. Because there's still a stack on over here. I stacked them so as you can see, it's short one, long one, short one, long one, so that as I lay them out, I'm going to have short, long, short, long.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so hopefully that way I don't forget and put two longboards right together, though I promise nothing. And here's the thing about the gates. It's like, I told you before in the one before this, I think, which was ages ago, we have to make safe spaces for our friends, our family, our community, especially LGBTQ people. We need to make safe spaces where we can go and just relax for a minute from the tension that we're soaking in all day long, knowing that the person next to us in line wants to see us in a concentration camp or at least have our rights stripped away. Okay? And at the best, they didn't care enough to vote or vote so that didn't happen.
Right.
So we need these safe spaces. We need to build these communities. It's going to be harder for somebody like me to build a community than it will be some of you to build that community in that safe. I have the safe space, but because I'm stuck taking care of my mother, I can't really go out and just look for people. And you can't put an ad because then you become a target.
Right.
So you can't just run an ad that says, we have this safe space, no red people come on our property. So in order to make sure that we create these safe spaces, we're going to have to do it a little covertly. And like I said, that'll be safer and easier for other people than it will be for me. I'm still going to do it, but it's going to be harder, as is everything in my life.
all things.
Okay? So, but these gates, metaphorically and physically, lock the ugliness out of our place. And that's what we're going to have to do. Yep. And we can all do that. We can all be part of the solution instead of part of the problem and try to save ourselves. Okay, so the next thing I do, okay, so now these are two long ones, and we'll put the short ones in. We probably won't do the short one on the end yet. Because, surprisingly, these gates were not exactly 8 foot. Meanwhile, I already made an 8-foot gate. I'm not cutting it down to make them equal. So, I don't know how many boards. I had it all figured out, spaced, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so again, I'm going to put the 2x4 in there.
That's your spacer.
As my spacer. I already have the 2x4 for the bottom. This is how simple doing stuff like this. You can either make this stuff very complex and make it take you for the rest of your natural life by trying to do it by the book, or you can do it the simple way. Okay, now I know I'm held. I know that my bottom line's correct because the 2x4 and the 2x4.
Right.
I want them 4 inches. That's not quite 4 inches. We know that 2x4s aren't 4 inches.
They are not dimensional, no.
No. And now in these, I'm going to put 3, although sometimes I wind up putting as many as 4 because that's who I am. But 3 is plenty. You want 2 on the edges, 1 in the middle. And what I like to do is stagger them. Put the 2 on the edges and then come up and get this one up here. So it's just held a little bit differently. And then it's just that simple. It's as simple as doing it. And what I'll do is, and I'll show you. Okay, so in order to make this more expedient, in other words, go faster for those who don't know what expedient means. Apparently my class told me, apparently I use words that they don't know. Any rate. Okay, so now I'm going to move that.
So you're just
over.
putting one there and you'll come back into the others later.
Yeah,
is that
well,
what you're, to make
what
it more?
I'm going to do, I just did 3 there to show them how many the pattern is supposed to be, but now I'll show you what happens. Okay, so now I have the stack of boards, and they're stacked.
Yeah, long, short, long, short. So that should be a long one.
Long, short. This is not, though, it's a short one. So that's short, okay. Here. So go to here. All right.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Okay, so we see how to short, long, short, long. Cool, I know I need a long one next, so I will flip it on that side. Okay. This is what we do. And this way, we get it all right, and then we screw it together, and we don't have that, oh no, we did it wrong moment. Okay, So what I'm going to do is, very quickly, I'll put one in the top. That's the bottom.
That's the bottom.
I'll put one in the bottom! The one in the top.
So they don't shift.
So that it's safe where you put it. But you have to have the end screwed on completely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your gate's going to do this.
Yeah.
As you go, and it's going to be at an angle on the board, and the hinge won't work.
Right.
That's got to be straight. The middle's got to be straight. Okay, so again, I'll move this up here. And now I slap a short board on there. See how easy that is? When I get them all with one in them, then I'll screw them all down with probably way more screws than it needs, because that's who I am.
Yeah, but if there's only one, if you do have to make adjustments.
I won't have to make adjustments.
Yeah, but I mean, if something did happen, it's only one screw. It's not 29.
How would anything happen?
Nothing should happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's another advantage of doing it this way.
All right. So then that's what I'll do, and I'll do it all. And then I'll have her come back out when I get ready to put the cross brace in, and then the hinges.
Sounds good. Okay, she started putting in the hinges, and then the gate is actually hanging, as you can see.
Sure it matches up with the other one, at least close.
Close
really.
enough.
Not really.
But it's close enough.
Really. Not really. It's close though.
You can actually put oh wow, it holds itself there. That's awesome. And you can put a deadbolt or whatever you want to across that.
You can't put a deadbolt on
whatever.
You have to put a chain on.
Chain or whatever.
I don't know. Maybe I ought to lower that.
Do you think?
Work, though. No.
You know, because the cement there is too high.
Make sure it opens this way the way it's supposed to. It should go all the way to the wall.
Yep, it does. That's perfect.
That's good enough. What the hell? Close enough for government work.
No, you couldn't lower that without cutting one of the, that corner board, because it would drag on the concrete.
So that may be the thing to do. Maybe the thing to do is to cut that off.
Oh.
So it was the same height.
It's nice and solid.
Those won't be like that when it dries.
No, when it dries, they won't be like that at all.
When
no.
it dries, there'll probably be a
gap.
all the way down.
I know.
Yeah, I think. I don't know how much. Let's see how far it's clear in the ground before we do that. Because no, it wouldn't clear.
No,
the
it
ground.
wouldn't clear. It has to hang there.
In the middle. What I can do is cut this off even with that one.
If it bothers
Cut
you,
this one a little shorter.
if it bothers you, go for it.
I can do that with the jigsaw. Just cut that, and then cut that one a little shorter, then cut that one the same height, and then and then just kind of let it
Do its thing, find its level.
I don't fucking know. That's good enough, right?
Right. We could wait until it dries and see where it settles, and then decide.
Okay, so now I gotta put in some more screws
To finish the
to
hinges.
hold it.
Because she's, yeah.
I'll show you how we do that. Because I have a little trick.
Of course she has a trick.
This hinge was made
For something
to
else.
go on something broader. And there's something broader. Okay, so the old hammer.
The old
Take the
hammer.
hammer.
No. I'm in the wrong place. Okay, I can't even find where we are. Let me get in there. There we go.
Now we're going to take
So
this
she's hammered it all the way around.
and do this. Now that one doesn't touch, so I'm going to do a little trick, because all it really has to do is stay over. Put that like that,
Oh, wow. Top and bottom.
and then put this like this.
Wow. Okay. That's not going anywhere.
Shouldn't.
Now I'm going to try to film that from over here this time. If I can.
I don't know. Oh, I got mud all over my. I got mud on my thing. I hate it when you get mud on your thing.
Being persuasive.
Okay, now.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
See where that hole ended up?
Yep. And so this one, put it at an angle up because it's. Now we got that, and then we put this here.
Wow, talk about tied in.
Yeah. Woo! Thank you.
Crazy.
Okay, so let's see how easy this is to do because it's not easy to do.
What are we easy in doing?
We'll cut that fucking thing off. It's bugging me.
Oh, okay.
It bugs me.
Okay, I'm gonna come hold Jake. Or no? She does like the cordless tools.
Yes.
That is cool. And I would just
Okay,
leave that. Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it. Okay, so this is one of the things you learn doing sets in theater. 90% of what people see is illusion.
Right.
So now if there's an illusion that they're even. We know they're not. But there you go.
Who cares? It's perfect. And that's firewood.
Yeah. Well, I say it damn pressure treated. You can't burn it.
Ah, that's right.
Okay, so I gotta figure out how to put the chain on this. Because I had this chain on there before. And I don't think it's... Oh yeah, it is big enough too.
Good.
Alright. I don't know whether to put it on the top, put it there, or put it there.
I think...
Actually, I could make it longer if I
Yes,
had
you could
to.
make it longer.
But that's for actually for the lock part. Okay, so I kept everything, so we'll see if everything works. Put it back together again.
If your wife could remember she's filming, we'd do better.
No, that's okay.
I keep, getting...
It's good for you make them seasick.
You're seasick.
It's a full adventure.
Oh, you're
You're
not-
out to sea.
You're not actually seeing everything we're doing.
You're
'cause
out to sea.
I see it, damn it.
You're out to sea. The waves are terrible. You're being thrown to and fro and to. All right. So, got this from the way I had it before. You tend to want to put the stuff, it's foot fastened stuff like the chain, you want to put it on this side so that people can't see it. So if they're trying to get in, they first have to reach around. They have to do a reach around.
You just... Yeah. 14-year-old boy.
Oh, there you go. Somebody's got to do it. Okay, so see, I've got this great big washer. I'm going to use the same thing I've been using.
You don't leave any loose there
Loose what?
on the end to attach to? No.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, I do. Okay, let's move this all the way up here. This would actually be easier if I would use my brain a little bit more. But I'm tired.
It is late in the day, and you've been in that stuff for a while. An extra hand, but my hand is kind of cameraing.
It's okay. Okay, so I'm going to take that, do that. Okay, now, if it works, which it should, there's no reason it shouldn't, except, you know, life.
Yeah.
Okay. It comes around like this, and it should,
It's get all the length. There you go.
yeah. And you just hook it in here, which is what you did so. But if you wanted to lock it, I have a lock over there that we use, and you take the lock and you put it in there.
Right.
Again, it's on this side. It just makes it that much harder for people to dick with.
Right.
So, yay!
Cool. Totally cool.
All right, now where's my hammer? I got it. Okay, so, oh, look, it came through. That's not good, because I guarantee, see that little screw there?
Yep, that will.
You will cut the living shit out of yourself.
I will.
Everybody will.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I am the first one who will hit it. That's what I do. It's my
yeah,
job.
so let's knock that down.
And get rid of it.
All right, so we have a gate now that we can lock.
Yay.
That means if we had guests in here and we were doing something together where we didn't want to have to worry about people just walking up, we could shut both gates.
Yep.
So now I'm going to put a roof on this. So
Oh, that's the next thing, putting a new roof on this?
next roof thing is putting a roof on that.
Okay, well, say goodbye.
Bye.